Right, so guys, given that game in the end, I suppose you've got to be pleased with a point out of that.
Yeah, I thought to be down to 10 men with 15-20 to go, the boys managed that last 20 minutes really well. Credit to them. To come back and nick a point, and even maybe to have gone on and won it would have been unbelievable. But it wasn't to be, and that's where we are.
Yeah, but the last 10, you would have thought we had 11 and they had 10. You know,
sometimes
the boys.
Happens, doesn't it? I think when you go down to 10 men, whoever's got the 10 on their side, 9 times out of 10 actually come out battling a lot harder, and if not, actually look like they got 12 men on the pitch, which I think in parts after we went down to 10 men, we looked like that.
Yeah, I think also there was probably the adrenaline, because I know we complain about refs, but even their manager and their coach said it wasn't. Rather, their keeper and their manager both said Dom's was a yellow at most, not a red. It's just shocking refereeing.
We turned around to each other at the time, and we were talking about substitutions and how we were going to plan out the rest of the second half. And we dismissed it. It's going to be a booking at worst. And then we continue, with our conversation as to how we're going to map out the rest of the second half. Yeah. So it was a complete shock to us when we saw the red card.
Yeah, well, I think he was saying it's Dom's first red card in 4 or 5 years or something.
It's just, for me, coming in, he's not that type of player.
What was the first chance we had? They were going through the back of us, nothing, and it just spoiled the game. He really did, the ref. I know I'm not supposed to slack him off, but when he trips players over himself and lets the game carry on, it's
very frustrating from the side when those things are out of our control.
Yeah.
But again, coming back to things that we were able to control, which was reacting to their shape. I actually thought they tried to play. It meant that we kind of locked them down quite nicely. It was individual errors from us.
Yeah.
The boys put their hands up and said that was my mistake that cost us today. And I think that's what probably we'd rather focus on than what the refs.
Well, like I said, they had one outlet, which was that 10. Yeah. All their goals came through him, and other than that, you'd lock them out. I thought he did really well, especially like I said, when he went down to 10, the shape was there, it was so clear.
Yeah, I think you can see from coming off the pitch, we've had the conversations, we've walked off, and we're extremely disappointed to concede 4 goals. But the flip side of that is that we've come back into it with 10 men at the end, and we've scored 4 goals. Yeah. So it's a bit of a flip-flop from where we were in the Hollands and Blair game, where we completely locked out for 90 plus minutes, and then coming into today, where realistically from the FA Cup game there was no change to that back line. So okay, there's a few knocks that are being carried and what have you, but we would have liked to have thought we could have carried on from where we were in there.
Well, it didn't even, like you say, Frankie had to came on, and then he came on and made a real impact. And the way you managed the game, all the subs, and like Regan came on and did what Regan does.
Yeah.
And like you say, it could have so easily been a win.
Yeah. It takes time, I think, to process what's happened, and we'll sit back at that. Especially when your emotions are running high with feeling like you're being hard done by, or just the emotion of football. So we know the quality that we've got out there, and the lads that are coming in, and the lads that came off the bench. So we know that we're going to need like 18, 19 players that could go on and give us something different, or can go and contribute positively. And we know what quality Frank's got on the ball, and we know what Reggie can do. So it's good to see him go and get a few more minutes. We've obviously got a game Tuesday, which we're now probably thinking about. We have to reevaluate what's happened today. Not much time for the boys to think about it, but it means that they're straight in onto the next game, and that's how we want it to be.
Yeah, because you look at the players coming off and you're thinking, well, Luke could even have walked to the changing room. He's put everything in, Walder's put everything in, they all have Billy had. Like the turnaround, I think the guys are really disciplined.
They'll go away from today. They'll do what they need to do. They all know that they've got a game on Tuesday night, so they'll do the preparation work that they need to do to be ready.
Because I mean, if you look at that, and if you haven't been here, you think, oh, 4-4, what the heck was there? But actually, there was so much positive to bring out of that. Almost the ref did us a favour, taking us down to 10.
I mean, we spoke straight from the off and said after that first sort of 10 minutes that this could be a very high-scoring game, because the pitch is extremely firm. Although it looks like there's a lot of grass on it, there's not really, and the wind is. The
first half it was all over, wasn't it, the wind?
Yeah.
They had one tactic, knock it long.
Yeah, it's not hard. Sometimes if the conditions give you a certain way of playing football, sometimes you have to play to those conditions, and it would have made defending very hard today. We're aware of that, and I think you see a couple of people, maybe a couple of players that are normally very solid in the air or judging long balls, caught out today by the wind, which is very unlike the boys, and hopefully as we progress on, that's just not going to be a factor going forward.
But you're saying that, and actually on the first half I thought we were quite canny, especially Rory and Bill teamed up really well for actually our 2 goals.
Yeah.
You know, because they were using that wind and really reading it well to attack.
Yeah,
Both of them.
Being smart and aggressive, and those boys give us that.
Yeah, well I think the whole team is, but standing in like you did, I think you should be proud today, because that was a really good hard fight. You know, it was led from the bench. You could see you knew what you were doing. Yeah. That was good.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. Can we get that clipped?
Yeah. Cheers, lads.
Appreciate your
Thank you
time.
very
See
much.